You know the Rabbids, I know the Rabbids. They've been to parties. They've invaded your house. They bought a Kinect. They went home. But with this sequel, the Rabbids have officially been reinvented, and because of a freak accident, we now have this abomination. This thing over here, which is definitely not Rosalina, guys, this is not Rosalina, needs the sparks to give herself some power. Or itself. So the gang goes to like 5 worlds to stop them. Now, starting off with the reinvention, the Rabbids are super different this time. There's even original characters, which have a decent amount of like lore to them. We have intriguing strategical gameplay. It's not too simple, but it's not too complicated either. Each character feels super unique and have their own purpose to using them. No one character feels too broken or absolute dog shit. And each character can actually equip up to 2 of these sparks. And it felt super nice to kind of mix and match them to see what worked better with other characters. Sort of inspired me to go out and get as many sparks as I could. In terms of the negatives for gameplay, there were various minor bugs, just like little pop-ins here and there. But the worst I had it was when certain parts of the game just kind of wouldn't work. And in terms of world building, the worlds can feel somewhat linear. Like take, for example, the snow area. Until you get to the very end of the world, you're kind of just going across very straightforward bridges. You can't really go off the beaten path too much. Like when I went back and tried to 100% all the little different worlds, I'd look at the map, there's a checkpoint, I'd be like, all right, I'm gonna walk to it. And I'd get lost for like 30 minutes. I think I'm just bad at it. But in the actual matches themselves, I gotta be honest, some of those matches can drag on. But it was only when I went back to 100% the first 2 worlds. And kind of a spoiler in terms of rewards, by the end of an entire world, all you get is like a gun skin. It doesn't affect your gun at all, just the look of it. Making my gun a shiny white skin isn't really incentive. Going over to story, I'll be honest, there were some things I didn't see coming. Spoilers, it's Rosalina. I mean, come on. That wasn't the thing I didn't see coming. Just to be clear, I did see that coming. There's some fun storytelling here. All of the Guardians, like I said before, have their own little individual stories. The main thing I did not see coming is this poem guy is not tall. He is on stilts. So the Rabbid characters are done fine, but what about the Mario characters? I'm gonna say it, they shouldn't have been in the game. Hey! The Mario characters were so one note in this. I think Bowser and Peach both have 1 line. Other than that, you just get facial expressions for the entire game. You better know these characters incredibly well. Otherwise, you'll be wondering the same thing I was. Why are they here? I understand that the mission involves them, but this could have absolutely just been a Rabbids game. The Mario characters are just there for the box art pretty much. Even the world themes don't really use any sort of Mario aesthetics. It's just a grass world, autumn world, a spring world, a winter world, and like a gear world. In fact, all of the enemies that are Rabbids are really cool. Well, not like super, they're fine. And I will now tell you every Mario enemy in the game. Now, I know what you're thinking. There's gotta be Koopa Troopas, baby. No! Would that have been cool? Absolutely. The little shell could have like bopped around the stage, but it didn't happen. Instead, we have Bob-Ombs, the little wizard dude, which only appears in the last world, by the way, and then Goombas. Oh, how could I forget? Goombas with a pot. Pothead Goombas. Other than that, I mean, the story itself was fine. Like I said, there were a few points where I was pretty interested in it. But I don't know about you guys, but the story was, sometimes, it was painfully unfunny. Like the fruity robot dude makes jokes about NFTs. And it's just like, what child is gonna get that? As for the visuals, they're like super cartoony, which is pretty nice. There's really not much of a negative for that. You know what, I'll make one up. There's a lot of grass. There's a lot of repeated grass. Yeah, if you play the game, like 3 of the worlds are just grass, but a different color. I don't know, is that a complaint? And of course for the music, you got my boy Grant Kirkhope back in the studio. And there's a few others. I'm not like bopping to the soundtrack in my car, but hey, if I'm ever in a final boss fight, the World 5 theme will be playing behind me. Mario & Rabbids Sparks of Hope is a good game. It's not my good game though. It has its audience, I'm just not a part of it. With the slower combat with strategy in it, it is genuinely super fun to learn. But with the very limited amount of hub worlds that feel kind of samey and the grind it takes to complete some of these areas, it is honestly kind of easy to get burnt out. The new characters are a great step for the franchise, but it is not a focal point. When honestly, it should have been. If the story focused on the Rabbids characters and booted out the Mario nonsense, I think the story would have been a lot better. If by the end of this video, this game still looks interesting to you, absolutely go out and try it. But I would probably wait until there's a sale. So I would have to give this game a super solid 3.5 out of 6. As for the DLC coming out, I'll definitely pick up the game for Rayman again. But until then, I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.